Chemist Warehouse has been there for me from day one to make this podcast possible. And they're there for millions of Aussies every day, helping them take care of their health and well-being. From prescriptions to vitamins, skincare and everyday essentials, Chemist Warehouse makes it simple and affordable to find what you need. So whether you're taking care of yourself or someone you love, head in store or visit chemistwarehouse.com.au. Yorkshire Tea said they are all about a proper brew. No shortcuts, no compromising on quality and no unnecessary fuss. So I put them to the test. I flew to Harrogate, toured the factory, met the team and even tried my hand at tea tasting with one of their experts. And it turns out they weren't kidding. From the way they source their tea to the way they blend and taste every batch, they do things properly. No shortcuts and no compromises. Because when the conversation matters, the brew should too. Thanks, Yorkshire. Thank you to Arnott's for supporting this series. One thing I've learned from this podcast is that the conversations that matter don't always happen behind a microphone. It might be a catch up with an old friend, a phone call that goes longer than expected, or just 5 quiet minutes to yourself. Arnott's calls them sweet little moments, and I reckon we could all use a few more of them. So next time you put the kettle on and have a moment that matters, open your favourite packet of Arnott's biscuits. Mitch Brown needs no introduction, so I'm not going to introduce him. I will actually introduce him. Mitch Brown is an Australian advocate for mental health. He's a queer advocate. He is a former professional AFL player. We know how sporty I am, Mitch. Welcome to Mental as Anyone.
Hey, thanks for having me on. It's been, I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Yeah.
More so than anything else in your whole life.
Yeah, this is one, when I came out, I was like, yep, coming out, tick, JMo's podcast. Next on.
I want to start by, I order a gift for each of my guests on Amazon. I do 24-hour delivery overnight. So I've ordered this gift for you.
Yeah.
Now, you took so long to respond to my text. It's nothing to do with one of your hobbies or anything like that I asked you to let me know. So that's a little present for you. But I actually think it's quite cute.
Yeah. Do you want me to open it?
Yeah. I liked it so much I bought one for myself.
Yeah. What was the hobbies that I sent you? Can you remember?
Raving.
So because I put that in there because I want people to think I'm cool. All right.
I just think this is, it's got the price on it.
That's all right. We know what you think about me for the price.
It's not. I found it because I saw it and I had bought one for myself 2 days earlier. It's a gratitude journal.
I love it.
And so I just feel like you're a dude that might sit and meditate and stuff.
Well, I'll sit like that if I do as well.
And I'm trying to be grateful for life.
Yeah.
And I just think it's cool.
Thank you. Like it's honestly, the word grateful is something that I've said since I've come out. So what has it been now since I'm not really good with my months, JMo. So August.
Your story, not mine.
August 27th. So whatever, like 8 months. And the word grateful is something that I've said a lot in the last 8 months. There's been a lot of challenges. It brings coming out public in such a public manner, it brings the worst, I guess, of society as well. Like the homophobia that does still exist in our society, especially in the spaces that I've been accustomed to, like Aussie rules football. It brings that out as well. But there's always moments, and I try and remember and ground myself week to week, sometimes day to day, that I'm so grateful to be in this position. And I come with a lot of privilege as well. Like I'm a white cis man that's grew up with a beautiful family in the country, went to school, got drafted, was genetically gifted in terms of matching with Aussie rules football. I could run fast, I could jump. All of that stuff.
You're
is
6'6".
6'6". 197 centimeters, I think. Is that right?
But who's counting?
I've got
how many inches?
I don't know. So much unearned privilege, as I like to say. It's and then now it's like I get to do these really cool things, and I'm grateful for those. Like I'm grateful that when I speak, especially things that are really important and conversations that need to be had in these hyper-masculine spaces like Aussie rules football, people listen And that's a gift that that I'm extremely grateful for, because there's a lot of amazing queer advocates out there, advocates for safety and inclusion, for being yourself, belonging, that do amazing work and have blazed that trail for me to be able to do what I did last year. So, you know, it's not just on me. I feel like I have the easy part. I really do.
Is it more palatable for people in that world? And by that world, I mean the AFL world, the sporting world, for the audience, for whatever, that you're a 6'6" dude, muscly, you look like a farmer or a lumberjack.
Thank you.
Is that more palatable as opposed to a more feminine looking dude who isn't those things? Because I feel quite intimidated by those spaces.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sporty.
I think it's so, like, it's a lot more palatable. And I think there's a uniqueness to the role that I can play because I look like them. And what I mean by that is, like, I've, you know, the set of rules that Aussie rules or men have set up in our society of what it means to be a man, I fit those boxes. I tick those boxes. So for them, you know, it's a hard one because I am more comfortable for them. So, you know, they're for a stereotypical country man that, you know, hasn't seen a queer person, they would just immediately go, okay, all right, 130 years, there hasn't been a men's player that's come out publicly and spoken about their sexual identity in the queer space. It's when it does happen, it's probably going to be one of those guys that we see on Mardi Gras.
Wearing a skirt.
Yeah, glitter, drag. I think, like, and I can say that because I've sort of been there myself. You know, I've got this, like, two worlds perspective at the moment. So, because I've played into that stereotypical man straight world. And then now I've got this insight to, I guess, being marginalized in the queer community, to look at and it's that weird, unique kind of worldview that I have. But going back to the more palatable thing, it's one, it's unfortunate that you have to, like, butter it all up for these people to make them feel comfortable so they listen. But
it's also the sense that if someone goes and calls you a faggot,
yeah,
then, well, they're less likely to do that to you than they are to me because you'll clobber them. I know you're not a violent person, but I'd be more intimidated by your size. Whereas if I was, I've had a lot of gay hate leveled at me.
Mm.
I don't have the physicality that you do, and therefore it is intimidating. I am intimidated by those spaces.
Mm. And I
and have not felt safe.
And I like thanks for sharing that, because that's the privilege that I'm talking about. And I still hold this privilege of being able to walk past a group of tradies at lunch and not feel intimidated. I can feel like I can go into that trade site, that construction site, and have a conversation about queerness with these, you know, hyper-masculine men without fearing, my physical being, like my safety. And there's a privilege in that, but I also see that role as a gift, because those type of spaces are the spaces that need to hear this important conversation. And because I've been in those spaces in my Aussie rules world, in those locker rooms, what we're really good at in those spaces is blocking out anyone from coming in there to have that conversation. Oh, there's that angry queer person from that organisation. Let's just not listen to them. Oh, they're not even going to get through the door because they just seem angry. And what happens with me is, like, I am in the door and I can sit with them and I can say to you, like, I've been in your position. I have been homophobic. I've been misogynistic. I've done all of it. I've sat in your shoes. I've sat in your position. Let's have a conversation about this.
But then there's even the most femme queer people have lived with a level of internalized homophobia.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty shit place to live.
Hmm.
So that's a pretty hard place for you to be before you got to this point, and maybe you still have that now. I don't know. I can't speak for you.
I do.
Where you kind of struggle with it. I struggle with it, and I came out more than a few years ago. So it's difficult.
I do. It's like hit the nail on the head. I have like, it's funny because I'm having these conversations calling out homophobia, but it still rears its ugly head for me. It challenges me every day. I internalize that biphobia as well. It's very real for me. Like in spaces, and I've said this before, in spaces where queer spaces, like even being next to my partner Lou, I'm very insecure of holding her hand or being affectionate to her by the fact that I'm scared that I'm being judged. Oh, he's not one of us. He's straight.
He's not really one of us.
He's not really. So I get insecure with that. And in those spaces, I over-exaggerate my queerness. And even that's like, it's not me. It's like the same spaces where in my days playing football, I would, double down on my straightness, drink more alcohol, sleep with more women, to prove to the boys that I belong as part of the gang, which means like you only be straight to be us. So I have to prove my worth in that group by doing that. And at times I feel like that, not all the time, I feel like that in queer spaces too. So and I got to remind myself too, like I'm not an expert in bisexuality, queerness. I'm 36 years old when I came out last year, and I was embarrassed, I was shamed for most of my life about my identity, which meant that I denied myself education, denied myself listening from queer voices, listening from their stories, their lived experiences. So, when I came out last year, it's like I'm a new recruit, little rookie. Like I've still got a lot to learn. And honestly, hand on heart, it's been one of the best. There's been a lot of amazing byproducts, and I pun intended, from me coming out. And I always laugh at that one. It's getting old now. There's been a lot of amazing things, but one of the best thing is, and I'm not just saying this, is just because it's so public and people go, oh yeah, that's that guy, I'm going to go and share my lived experience with him. And I commit to listening, and I've learned a lot, and I've learned a lot that I am not alone in even my story of being in a heterosexual marriage, being with a woman now, all those type of things. So it's been one hell of a ride, and I'm just learning. Mm-hmm.
I still have to juggle that. And I came out, I'm 10 years older than you, so I came out when I was 17. And if you have to put me on I always talk about the Kinsey scale. I don't know if you're across that, but the Dr. Kinsey, are you across it?
No.
Dr. Kinsey is this scientist that basically had a scale of like, very few people are 100% gay and very few people are 100% straight. Most people are somewhere in between. Now, most people would assume, because I'm gay as fuck, that I would be like 100% gay. Well, I can tell you I'm definitely not. I'm a tinfoil worst possible gay there is. I've done all the heterosexual things and I loved it. And I would do it again if I had to or wanted to. So that means maybe I'm bisexual. I don't know. But when I came out, there wasn't the language.
Yeah.
And the language was you're gay or you're straight. And so I am, and I identify as a queer gay man. My preference is to be sexually active and so on with men, but I find women beautiful.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed great experiences with women. So does that make me bisexual? If you look at it and you've got to put me in a box, then call me bisexual.
Yeah.
and I've got it all figured out.
It's so relatable. It's like, how can, like, because I reflect constantly because, you know, that's the newfound me now since coming out. I can do this. It's like, how can you be so like, how can we be so binary? Like, that's where like people be like, hey, Mitch, how did you know that you love guys? Like when you're 5? And it's like, my worldview was, and my curiosity was like, we can't, like, it's just so, why does it just have to be one gender or sex? Like, why is it that? And that was my curiosity. And I was like, it's just not the way I relate to. It's just, for me, it's open. And I, you know, if we're going into percentages, I'm not 50-50 bisexual. And that is fluid as well. You know, it does fluctuate. And I can see it fluctuating in the future.
What percentage are you today?
That's a question. Your
partner's sitting in the room with us. We can't. It's irrelevant. It's a stupid
it is
question.
irrelevant.
I don't like. It's a really stupid question. So I'm sorry. I don't mean to put you on the spot with that. No. But yeah, it is fascinating though, right? That life is fluid. We're fluid. Nothing is a straight line. And from a mental health perspective, forcing us into boxes forces us to fall off the rails maybe. I don't know. For me, that's how I've felt. Yeah.
It's, I mean, that's been the crux of everything for me is these, like, it's not just me personally, like the boxes are all around us. The way you're meant to get married, the way you're meant to buy a house, your sexuality, everything. And I think trying to fit in those boxes, because some of those boxes are like rewarding. They are like, so that's where I fell in the trap of like, well, he's a 6'6" guy that's being rewarded because his athletic ability and he's, you know, I can be masculine and be tough and stoic and I get rewarded. So it feels good. But like undeniably, what's the word?
Undeniably, yeah.
Undeniably. That's it. I can say it in my sexy voice. Undeniably. It's like resentment. It just eats its way away. And then your coping mechanisms when you're really tested or stressed or anxious or life's not going well and one of those coping mechanisms isn't there, then that's when it all breaks down.
So what was breaking down for you?
Yeah, I think it really...
On that note, do you want a bicky? Because I need a bicky.
Yeah, let's do a bicky. I have some water. But
I'm going to have one of these because they're my favourites with the red bits on there.
Nice, chocolate for me. No, so when I finished football, it's not like people just assume that I left football to be queer. I left football to be able to start breaking down the layers that these masks, this armor that I put up that says to me that you need to stay in this box to belong. And so that took years to like break down one layer at a time. And it wasn't until I had my first child, who's now 6. I've got 2 little boys now, which we co-parent. And, you know, you have these, and we all do have these conversations with our children or young people. It's like, and I found myself having these conversations with my boys around, you can be yourself. You can, you know, you and I can talk about anything. You're safe with me. And it's just like, well, I'm having these conversations with my boys. I'm preaching it, but then I can't do that with my own self. So there was this contradiction. And that's when it started to go, no, like I need to find myself. I need to be honest with myself. I need to be not afraid of, you know, being honest to others around me to do that. And that's when it sort of, I mean, this final core, the toughest layer that I had to unpeel, for that to happen my mental health really suffered from not doing things perfectly. I ended my marriage and it wasn't a perfect ending. You know, for so much of my marriage, so much of my life, people pleasing was such a big part of me, and lying, not being scared to be honest in the moment because afraid of the reaction of the person that's sitting in front of me. Let's tell that white lie. Let's say something else and not be honest because I was scared of hurting them effectively. And I knew that to find myself, I had to end my marriage. And part of my growth, I just couldn't do that. I couldn't go, hey, you know, this is the end. So I ended my marriage, and then then you become so vulnerable, and you can be, you know, and the way that society wants us to think of these boxes, right? And so we're like, Mitch, what are you doing? What are you doing leaving your marriage? Why don't you try? Why don't you work at it? You're meant to stay in your marriage, fight for it. It's just like, no. And then so you, like, people abandoned you because, you know, one, they could be projecting their own insecurities or in their own relationships, or two, they're just like, it's, you know, it blows their mind that someone could tear open this box and thrive. They're just like, Mitch, you're going to suffer outside of this box. You are going to suffer. And a lot of people in my sphere of family, community, thought that my decision to end my marriage, and even 3-4 steps ahead, my decision to come out, they thought it was a mental illness.
Really?
They
People close to you?
Yeah. And it's like, that hurt the most. Honestly hurt the most. It's like, for me, it wasn't perfect, but doing the brave thing by ending my marriage, I didn't do it perfectly, but that was me going, I'm choosing me. I'm choosing my mental health. I'm choosing happiness. And the thing I do regret, I didn't do it perfectly. And it looks to some people that it may look like I wasn't in the right frame of mind, but I can tell you I was thinking more clarity than I've ever had in my life. And that's the honest feelings.
I think from people I've spoken to, and it's not my lived experience, just relating to something you just said there, my mum was bisexual, and so I grew up having a mum who was totally cool and had male and female relationships. But when I came out to her finally at 17, she said her biggest fear for me was that, or she said, her words were exactly that, she said that it's a lonely life. Because when I came out, it's not easy now, but back then, having a partner, getting married, just living a normal life as a couple was not an option.
Yeah.
So, so you saying the mental health stuff, it just really, it really hit home then.
And that's again, like I've had some beautiful people share their lived experience, especially the ones that lived through the areas of, you know, it being criminal to be queer. And that's why I've got so much respect for my elders, the past generations that lived
through. Careful what you say, elders.
That's figuratively. But I do, because, like, again, you look at this book, Gratitude. I am grateful that I sit here because the thousands of people, thousands of queer community and allies that have honestly paved the way for me to come out and feel like I'm not alone. And that's been my honest journey since coming out. I feel more connected to community to people, to the humanity of it, than I ever have before. I was, in fact, pre-coming out, I was lonely. Because I did have connections, I had friendships, but because they didn't see the real me and I wasn't giving them the real me, there was like, the human connection wasn't the one that really could make me feel that I were with them, you know, because I wasn't showing them my real self.
I think people are still, though, from people that I've spoken to, I do work with Qtopia in Sydney.
Yep.
There's an exhibition there that I did an interview with a bunch of community people, and people get confused. I mean, the words I hear around bisexual is greedy. Like, I don't know, whatever. I'm sure you would tell me what they all are. People don't understand. They're just like, pick one.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, I'm attracted to both.
I don't like, that's a part of me. It's just something like
and then you get the hate or the discrimination from both sides, because the gays want you on their side. The gay men that men have sex with men, and then
it's a lazy point by me, but like, why do people care so much? And I hate that, because the word like, who cares? Because I get that a lot from trolls when I speak. Is like, we don't care about you, Mitch. Like, we don't care what you say. It's 2026. Well, why are you writing? Why you keep getting into me? Anyway, we digress. I yeah. Where were we up to?
Well, just it's a hard place to be in the middle.
Yeah.
And people don't understand bisexuality, and you're in a relationship with a gorgeous woman. But then they're like, is he really bisexual? You've said that.
Yeah. This puts strain on our relationship. Like, people test, like, Lou is my partner is just as much as I. Like, see some of the things that Lou gets, you know, about our relationship, or, you know, he's just gay, you know, he's going to run off. And, you know, you listen to it. You do listen to it. Like, it's only like a few, but they're so loud, and things do get to you. It's like.
So how do you juggle a relationship that to many is seen as a heterosexual relationship when you identify as a bisexual man? Is your partner, do they identify in?
Yeah. We're both queer, both bisexual, and the whole, like, earlier I spoke about this layer, right? And that final chink of the armor that had to come off, and Lou, my partner, like, I wouldn't have been able to take that off without her. So having someone like that for the first time in my life, I was able to have no fear in being honest. And what I mean by that is being able to say anything to that person, to Lou, and know that it's going to be taken with so much safety, kindness, love and care. And this sounds silly, so silly, but it's just such a drug, like, it's such a like intense feeling for me, because I never did that in my life. I could never reveal who I was. And to be able to do that with someone, the connection with that person, it means everything. And, you know, the way we juggle it, we don't really juggle it because of that intense honesty, trust, and communication. For some, it's buzzwords. For us, it binds us, you know, because not only it is underpinned as our values of relationship, but it's I can't show those values if I'm not my true self. So it's like this, you know, if I'm showing up in our relationship, it also means I'm showing up in the rest of the world like that. And that's what I want to be. That's what makes me feel good. And each day gets the realization of that just gets makes me more confident, more strong.
I'm asking you questions that I think other people might want to ask but might be fearful of saying. So please tell me if it's not something you want to answer or talk about. But what is the difference between pansexual and bisexual? My understanding is pansexual is someone that could fall in love with anyone, and bisexual is someone that is attracted to both male and female.
I think the definition is close.
I don't know. I'm a bad gay.
Yeah, same.
I'm a bad queer advocate.
So I don't know what the definition is, but I'll tell you this, is like my fluidity of who I'm attracted to is open to everyone. I mean that. And, you know, that does involve, I mean, there's demisexual is more around falling in love with their personality and whatnot. For me, that is a huge part of it. Takes up a big portion of the pie, but it's all these other factors as well, you know, attractiveness and all those type of things. So yeah, I would be more closer to pansexual if in the pure the sense of the definition is like the fluidity of who I'm attracted to, who I can love is open for all.
But that also is the need to put someone in a box. So pansexual, bisexual, gay, straight, queer. When I was younger, I've really struggled with the word queer because for me it was such a negative word when I was younger.
It's just like...
they're all just putting us in a box.
I don't know. It's just this... it's just the way I've become, the way I take in information, I learn is come with a sense of openness. Parking my judgments, biases, the way I grew up, and just be open to everything, you know. And I learnt that from spending a lot of time with my work and in personal time with First Nations communities, is this sense of openness to cultures around the world and learning from them, even though they may go against, you know, your values or how it's just that sense of openness, right? And I like being like that. You know, whether it's the way I work or taking information to the music I listen to the people who I'm attracted to. It's like, I'm not greedy. I'm just, for me, it's like, well, there's so many amazing people out there, like incredible human beings, all shapes and sizes. It's like, I want to be open to all of that. Isn't that doing me a sense of justice in my humanity? And that's the way I see it. And so, yeah.
I think the reason I know I'm more gay is that I had a woman that I fell in love with when I was like 19 or 20, but I knew that I couldn't commit to her and only her for the rest of my life. And that just, for me, made it, I just couldn't do it. And she wasn't going to accept anything other than that. And so, fair enough. Anyway, mental health. Sport in general, you've become a very loud voice for speaking out for a community that doesn't have a voice or hasn't had a voice. Is that hard? Is that a lonely place to be at times? Or does it fit into the stuff we've spoken about you feeling like you fit in with that space so it's not so lonely?
It's a great question. And I was asked this the other day. It's like, would you personally, like if there's a homophobic incident on the AFL field, which there has been twice already this season, are you personally offended by the word fag or faggot? And like, I had to pause and go, you know what, I am. And then I got doubled down on the question. I was like, are you really? Like, are you really offended? I'm like, well, my honest response is, well, I can take it. I think I can go, well, you know, I understand the word. I know that. But then I'm like, no, I am really offended by this because the amount of people that don't have a voice that have felt intimidated, scared, had to finish up at their sporting club or their work because it's just not safe, because these words pave the way for more harmful behaviours, hate crimes that are physical, then yeah, I am offensive because I do have a voice for those people, and I understand and I take that responsibility, you know, with so much importance, and because I know it does make a difference. So yeah, like I know the role, and that's why like it motivates me to keep a conversation going, because, you know, anyone that's in these spaces that stand up against the norm, I think we're really good at embracing them for like a day or so. But then if they keep speaking, it's like, nah, you've had your time. You're making us feel perpetually uncomfortable because of your voice. You need to get back into your voice, and we're going to make sure you do. And that's where the hates come. Mm. And we've seen it. I'll give you a dozen examples of that. But so it motivates me to keep conversation, even though countless times people try and put you back in your box. Shut up. It's your time now, Mitch, to shush.
It's also exhausting. There are times where I'm like, I actually need to step into another room for a second and recharge my battery.
Well, at the moment, I'm getting a thicker skin, and that's unfortunate because, like, why do we have to? But I am. But the thing that's most exhausting at the moment is holding in my anger, rage, and frustration, because to play the game in progress, to be able to be led into these construction sites, to have conversations with these men that actually need to hear it, you have to have you have to be considerate. And if you come across too angry, too rage, it's like, well, we're going to shut you off here. You're too crazy. You're too angry. Look at you. This is what we wanted. So to play the game, to ensure that, you know, people keep listening, and the people that need to listen can keep hearing you and don't shut you off, you got to hold in your rage, because that's what they want you to do. And holding your rage is hard, exhausting. And if you have nowhere to put it, it builds up.
Where do you put it?
Well, that's right now. I'm like, I need to see someone.
You're holding your knee.
I'm just scrunching up. I come to a point now where I do need to talk to someone about, and I am getting the support of like being able to know where to put this energy, this rage, because, you know, as I've known in the past, and my own accountability of my own behaviours, the anger and the rage does never go well for me.
So is there more homophobia now, or is it just that there's more eyeballs? Or more people hearing, listening, people speaking up? I don't know. Is it more now? I would probably say no.
Yeah, I was having this conversation today about this because I'm trying to be more strength-based now. I've had my rants, I've been angry, and I've shown that frustration. Now it's, all right, because the thing we got to remember is, you know, there has been more incidents of homophobia in sport. But as you said, like, I think it's always been there. I don't think there's any more. What is positive is it's being called out. Like, I'm sure, like, it's around, but players aren't calling it out, and they are now, which also means that it gets highlighted more, and people think that it's a huge problem, it's getting worse. But, you know, maybe it's a good thing, because we need that allyship. We need those bystanders to stand up, and because that's the greatest cohort of these good men, good people doing nothing, staying silent. And I've sat there myself around, you know, the table at the pub, hearing things that are misogynistic, sexist, homophobic, and going, nah, they're right. They're my mates. I know them. I won't say anything. But we need to say something. We need to stand up. And that's by far, I mean, that's the you know, the most easiest way we can, you know, get some quick wins is for good people to speak up. And I think that's happening in the AFL, and that, so we do want to wrap our arms around those people, because it's hard at the moment. You speak up, you know, you might have to go through a tribunal system. You might have to get called up as a witness, you know, and it leaves you open to, you know, hate as well.
And question about your sexuality.
Yeah. Yep.
Because presumably there are people in the professional AFL, rugby league, rugby that are gay or queer.
And that's where it's so, you know, we've just seen incidences in the latest in the AFL with the tribunal, with the questions around, you know, well, the victim or the player that was, you know, had this slur named at them, they're straight, so, you know, it's not offensive. Well, how do you know that? Did you ask them if they're straight? Like, what if he was gay and you've just asked him to out himself? Like, that's harmful. Like, what? Like, there's so much, yeah. And, but yeah, I think it's, yeah.
Did anyone ever try and out you?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, and not whilst I played. Afterwards, and yeah, it wasn't a nice experience at all. It was, and again, they tried to out me because they thought there's only one possibility that I could be queer or could be going down this path, is that I was mentally unwell. So they wanted to help me.
Wow.
And that's why they...
Did you believe them at any point?
No. I was like...
We had Chloe Hayden on the podcast from Heartbreak High.
Yeah.
She's extraordinary. And she said she was getting so much hate, so much stuff, death threats, that her neurodivergent brain was telling her that maybe they're right.
Mm. Yeah. And that's... yeah, that's my experience. Like, even my marriage separation, people, they can't in their right mind believe that, or can't be happy for you. It's like, be happy for me. I've taken this brave step. It's like, you must be, you've gone outside of this box that we're all in. We know that's the box is the right way to live a good, successful life. You're gone outside of, so you can't possibly be well.
So what's the worst things they've said to you?
That, you know, Mitch, you must be depressed, you must be unwell, you know, to a point of like, because I played a contact sport, brain injury, CTE.
Oh, they thought that your brain,
unwell.
Suspected brain injury could have caused you to be.
You must be
bisexual.
like, it's like, or, and like, this is not just, it's like ending your marriage and then coming out. It's all this like,
wow.
And you're right. Like, you listen, you know, for me, it's been now I'm grateful, but it's been a hard couple of years.
And your missus helped you with that?
Yeah.
How long have you guys been together?
2.5, I think, years. You know, Lou said me at my absolute rock bottom. And, you know, this is where you start believing those people of, you know, you're not well. You are not well. The decisions you're making, you can't trust yourself. And when you aren't well, those people that tell you that, they become the voices inside of your head. And for me, in July 2023, like I hit rock bottom.
What was that?
Or 24, one of those years. I had a horrible experience at work, and I had left 6 months earlier. I'd left my marriage, and everyone, not one person, said to me, this is friends, family, work colleagues, that what you've done is brave and we're so happy for you. And then I feel like that genuine sense of abandonment, and I felt so alone. And then when, all these, it's like you can only handle so much. The normal regulation and the everything that you rely on to keep yourself balanced in your well-being just is not there anymore. And for me, I had this incident at work and I had enough. I walked out of this meeting, finished work, just basically quit on the spot, walked outside of the back of the office and just started crying and walking, and just everything just snowballed at once. It's like, your kids hate you. I got that plenty of times. It's like, Mitch, you're leaving your marriage, you're going to fuck up your kids. What are you doing? And then these voices as I was walking and crying is like, see, you fucked your kids. You're no longer married. You're alone. Your friends hate you. Your family hate you. Just everything. And because you don't have anyone else to talk to, and yes, I had Lou at that time, you start blaming yourself. And then I remember walking and I was heading to Collingwood train station and to jump in front of a train. And I got to the light, the lights at the Hoddle Street Punt Road, and had to wait. And I remember just like Lou was trying to call me flat out, and I looked at my phone and I remember seeing it, the pictures I had on my screensaver, pictures of my two boys, and I just then hit the ground on my knees and just uncontrollably sobbed, and just stopped what I was going to do, and then just sat until Lou came and got me. And Lou drove me back out of Melbourne to her place, and that's where I stayed for, because we were together by then. That's where I stayed. I didn't leave for like 8 weeks. And that's where it didn't stop. Like it didn't stop. And I had voices in my head that was telling me to kill myself. And I remember laying next to Lou and saying this to her. I was like, they're saying, they're like, Mitch, just do it. Like, just do it, Mitch. Just go on, just do it. And I could hear that. I could hear it, and they wouldn't go away. And then my behavior, I started to get medicated because I had severe anxiety. I was seeing a therapist. But what my behavior, whilst I was doing this, I would cross busy roads with my eyes closed. So it wasn't like this intentional trying to harm myself, but it was like destructive behavior. Like I just didn't care. And it's just...
Was there a circuit breaker? You got medication, you got help,
medication,
your partner.
Yeah. I think Lou then, because we worked together, we quit our jobs, or she also resigned. And then I had that constant care, love, and we shut off to the rest of the world, and we started to block out all those external noises and just made our present time just our world. And I started using exercise again, and that made me feel good.
I can't relate to this. You've lost me at the bloody exercise.
Honestly.
You lost me at exercise. Are you kidding?
I know. It's silly. But the circuit breaker, honestly, is Lou and I got out of town. We went to Greece and just got the hell out of any external noise that were telling us that we were bad people. I was a bad person. I was unwell, and just forgot about everything else.
How's your head now? I mean, today's a pretty this is a heavy day, but how are you at mental health now? Are you seeing someone? Are you still medicated? Are you still?
I'm still medicated. So
me too.
Yeah, nice. The medication's been amazing. It's allowed, of course I have to work it and, do other things. I don't meditate, but I make sure I work out, I find things. But this is my whole, this is the thing. It's like I'm medicated because anxiety for me, not being able to be myself in those days playing football in high school, it showed itself as anxiety, but I didn't tell anyone. I didn't know what it was because I thought it was weakness and I didn't want to be weak.
And it didn't fit with the vibe of being that dude.
No. And then I got medicated. It changed my life. I was like, oh my God, no worries. And even that in itself. But this is the overriding thing is, this is so much so much easier said than done, is when you can be yourself and feel like you can show up and say the most kinkiest weird or just be totally yourself, as long as it's with respect and kindness, and the people around you, like Lou, let you in with love, safety, not being judged, that in itself is the best by far, for my mental well-being. So
she loves you with or without the vanilla ice spit in your eyebrow.
Yeah. I was hoping you said that.
Yeah, I did, babe. I noticed everything. I haven't I've clocked it all.
It's just, I was explaining it today to someone. So since that moment, I started to go, right, we center ourselves now. We start to be unapologetic, us. And I got my first tattoo. I got tattoos. I started to get earrings, nose piercing.
A Malay.
And just and it was like this, this is this physical sense. It's material, it's there. But it's not like I'm cured. It's not like I'm perfect. When I go back into spaces like football clubs, when I feel myself going back into the old Mitch. And I use these as a reminder to remember who you are. Remember that, this is the person that you want to be. This is you. And if they don't like it, then, well, that's okay, but they're not for you, and still be proud of yourself. And, I was describing someone because I was lucky enough to be a sitter in the Archibald Prize, and there's a dangling earring in the portrait. And I was, artistically describing it with someone. I was like, yeah, it means this. I said that, honestly, that I liked the dangly earring. I don't have any on now, but I liked it because I could hear the metal hitting each other, and it was like this reminder of who you are now. Don't go back. This is you. Keep being accountable to being honest, to being truthful, communication, because those things helped me get out of that slump, that, the worst rock bottom of my headspace. And it's just, life's awesome now, and it's not perfect. The imperfectness of my life is the, thing that makes it great. It's the humanity of it, So
I can feel that. I can feel that energy, which is lovely.
I don't worry if I stuff up or get things wrong or accidentally make someone pissed off. I just don't. worry me like I used to. Yes, it worries me if I've offended or shown disrespect. But now I'm just like, no, like, it's okay, Mitch. And like, I can't tell you, exhilarating from someone that's worried my whole life about what people think about me and what I say. Oh, like, I can't tell you how exhilarating it is. And that's like how I'm showing up. And that's what the world sees right now.
I'm going to finish up now because we could speak for 3 hours.
Yeah.
On a 1 to 10, 1 being shithouse and 10 being amazing, what are you on the JMo mental health scale right now after this heavy...
I like... I mean, vulnerability is a buzzword, but it's more for me being honest with people, and it's every time you do that, you have a connection with someone, and like that's what I fantasized over. That's what I craved when I was inside these boxes that were made for me, that I thought I had to live to be a man, to fit in, to be a football player. Every time I'm having these conversations, you know, it's like feeding my wellness. Vulnerability feeds my wellness. It's all honesty. You know, you can be the worst of conversations, the raw, the dark honesty, but it's always a net positive for my wellness. And so honestly, like, I'm sitting at 8. You know, I'd never say 10 because the pursuit of happiness. Maybe we never get there, and that's the point of life, isn't it? Always to find, to chase, to be curious that there's always more love, more happiness out there, more people that can contribute to that. So
I want to give you a copy of my book. I'm going to sign
it
because I'm an author. Thank you for coming on Mental as Anyone.
No, thanks. This has been a lovely conversation, regardless if it's been recorded or not. It's just been really nice, and thank you for that, because it is, you know, I say it every day. I do. I don't practice it in physical form or meditation or writing it down, but I'm so grateful that, you know, I sit here and can have these conversations with you. So thank you.
This episode is proudly brought to you by Chemist Warehouse, your go-to destination for all things health and well-being. Whether you're looking for natural supplements, fitness essentials, or everyday healthcare, Chemist Warehouse has you covered at unbeatable prices. They're proud to support this podcast and help you take control of your health and well-being. Head to chemistwarehouse.com.au for the best selection of vitamins, wellness products, and more to keep you feeling your best. I love my tea and have finally learned how you make a proper brew. Ethical source quality tea from Africa and India. Combine 10 to 20 distinct teas. Taste thousands of cups daily. Make sure it's rich, robust and satisfying. Take no shortcuts. And support farmers, communities and plant millions of trees along the way. Obviously, I don't have time to do all of that. Thankfully, Yorkshire Tea does. So have a proper brew with Yorkshire Tea. Thank you to Arnott's for supporting this series. There really is an Arnott's biscuit for every kind of moment. Tim Tams when you need chocolate. Scotch fingers for dunking. Monte Carlos, Kingstons, mint slices and ice Vovos when you're opening a variety pack. And of course, shapes when you're in the mood for something savoury. I was actually meant to try them all and tell you my favourite, but our producer Darcy ate every single one before I got the chance. I'm not even joking. Apparently his favourite is all of them. So find your favourite and share them in the moments that matter most.